Hi friends, Pastor Jim here from First Congregational Sheboygan. Thanks for watching. I wanted to talk to you about a book I've had for years by Thomas Merton, New Seeds of Contemplation. Check this out. This book is kind of falling apart. It's in pieces. The glue has all come undone. This book was written in 1961. I've not had it that long, of course, but I had it since the mid-'80s. I've got a mailing label in the front from my New York City address in graduate school and seminary. I wanted to think with you during this pandemic time about a chapter, he writes, chapter 11, Learn to be Alone. It's not been easy for many of us being alone. Maybe it was okay or even fun at the beginning, but it's like, enough already. I want to be with my friends. I want to go out to dinner. I want to be in church meetings. I want to go to worship. I want to do things, be at the beach, and not have to worry about social distancing all the time. It's a tension we're going to have all of our life, and faithful people of every religious tradition struggle with the balance between alone time and community time. So here, Merton says, we do not go into the desert to escape people, but to learn how to find them. We do not leave them in order to have nothing more to do with them, but to find out the way to do them the most good. But this is only a secondary end. The other end that includes all others is the love of God. How can people act and speak as if solitude were a matter of no importance in the interior life? Only those who have never experienced real solitude can glibly declare that it makes no difference, and that only solitude of the heart really matters. One solitude must lead to the other. And then he talks about this quote from Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount about, but when you pray, you shall go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father in secret. He says, once you've found such a place, Merton says, be content with it and do not be disturbed if, for a good reason, or if a good reason takes you out of it. Love it and return to it as soon as you can, and do not be too quick to change it for another. In other words, find a corner of your house, find a bedroom or a closet, literally even, where you can sit and pray, centering prayer, meditation, where you can talk to God and then listen. He talks about how city churches are wonderful that way, big, dark, old, quiet churches, and a place where you can hide and no one will recognize you, and you can kneel and pray to God. He says there can be no contemplation where there is no secret. We've said that the solitude that's important to a contemplative is, above all, an interior and spiritual thing. We have admitted that it's possible to live in deep and peaceful interior solitude, even in the midst of the world and its confusion. But then Thomas Merton says this, but this truth is sometimes abused in religion. There are men dedicated to God, he writes this in 1961, there are men dedicated to God whose lives are full of restlessness and who have no real desire to be alone. They admit that exterior solitude is good in theory, but they insist that it's far better to preserve interior solitude while living in the midst of others. In practice, their lives are devoured by activities and strangled with attachments. Interior solitude is impossible for them. They fear it. They do everything they can to escape it. What is worse, they try to draw everyone else into activities as senseless and as devouring as their own. They are great promoters of useless work. They love to organize meetings and banquets and conferences and lectures. They print circulars, write letters, talk for hours on the telephone in order that they may gather 100 people together in a large room where they will all fill the air with smoke and make a great deal of noise and roar at one another and clap their hands and stagger home at last, patting one another on the back with the assurance that they've all done great things to spread the kingdom of God. Wow, Merton must have had some memories of some really bad church meetings where 100 people in a room filling the air with smoke. I think that did happen back in the 50s and 60s, but thank goodness we don't fill the air with smoke too much, but we don't really even get together anymore. So I share this because it's hard being alone, but we have seasons in our life when we need to be alone and be quiet, and it helps us long for those days when we can be together again. We are starting to open up, if only because the weather is so nice. We can have meetings outdoors. I've got a church board meeting tonight outdoors on the grass near the Eden's Bluff Garden. If it rains, we can be in the front entryway under the overhang, under the roof, and we can see each other face to face and talk, and maybe even take our masks off if it's a little bit of a breeze and we're not too close together. And then we can see each other's smiles and be in peace with brothers and sisters. It's a beautiful thing to be in unity with our brothers and sisters, as the psalmist says. So keep the faith. We look forward to seeing you soon. We have worship outdoors this Sunday, July 26th, on the East Lawn. It's on the 3rd Street side of the building. There's some shade over there, more shade than I realized. So we're going to move from the west side of the building to the east side for this Sunday. So hope to see you there. God bless you.